You ready?
Let's go.
I was ready.
Go. Edit.
Welcome to the Artie's Attic Warehouse 13 Fancast, where a steampunk girl, a lifelong sci-fi fan, and a rocket scientist chat about the popular 2009 sci-fi series. There's never a dull moment with the agents dedicated to protect humankind from unexplained phenomena that manifest their powers in special objects. And there's all those friendships and relationships along the way. Grab a cookie while you can. Hope you don't smell fudge. Gear up with your Farnsworth, Tesla, and Neutralizer, and let's have some fun by snagging it, bagging it, and tagging it.
Welcome back to Artie's Attic. We're a Warehouse 13 fan cast. I'm the Warehouse 13 janitor, finally getting my wish to experiment with artifact mashups.
Not in this timeline.
My name is SP.
That's very impressive.
Introducing Artie's Attic lead agent and historian who misses exact science. It's Agent Shannon.
What's up, guys? How's it going?
And also returning is the warehouse agent who pronounces it your anus. It's Agent Carolyn.
It's Uranus. Uranus. What's up, guys?
What's up? We are continuing our Warehouse 13 series discussion with the episode that premiered on Monday, April 14th, 2014, 9 months before James Cole, Dr. Cassandra Rowley, Katrina Jones, Jennifer Goines, Jose Ramsey, Hannah Jones, and Deacon embark on a 47-episode mission to use time travel to stop the destructive plans of the Army of the 12 Monkeys in one of the last good sci-fi channel series.
Nice. Nicely played.
I'm referring to the Warehouse 13 Season 5 premiere episode, Endless Terror. The IMDb description reads, Paracelsus turns the warehouse into a house of horrors. Can this team stop him in time? Shannon? Sorry about the steampunk.
Yeah. I like that
Nice.
part. Eddie, sorry about that.
That's a good one. He's like, moving on.
No, he said, I will kill him.
Yes.
You know,
I'm going to kill him.
I had trouble keeping track of the plan of what they were trying to do and where they were going back and forth. I mean, it's just like they're randomly throwing ideas and artifacts behind it. And I'm like, they're doing too much.
There were a
There was a
lot
bunch.
of artifacts.
They did a lot of. I'm like, what? But then again, I was kind of dozing. I had taken some Benadryl. So I'm like, I had to rewind it 3 times to remember that one part. But it's okay. It's okay. I'm done. I'm ready for the Paracelsus storyline to be done.
Which it is. He's now bronzed again.
Again.
Okay, I got a question.
Me
Let's dive
too.
in. Plenty, but let me. If
Question 1.
Question 1: if Pete has tackled Paracelsus while him and Myka and DaVinci's granddaughter are all sitting there in warehouse, what, 12?
9.
Mhm.
9?
No, 3,
Okay.
9. Warehouse 9.
Whatever number. But yet the other Paracelsus is still walking around 13 with a lab coat, right? So we've gone back in time and you've seen him before he got bronzed, right?
Well, the one that was from the timeline that Pete and Myka are from, that's the one that was tackled. The one from his actual timeline back then when he was the caretaker of Warehouse 9 had just been bronzed.
Yes. So
Okay.
there's technically 3 Paracelsus running around simultaneously.
So the
In
one
this-
that got
yes.
bronzed originally is now in the future.
N-
Yes.
Yeah. No.
Okay, so my
Mm.
question was because
Oh,
I
I'm like,
didn't
Pete,
see.
time travel hits my head.
I didn't understand when he's like, "Well, I thought when he's talking about doing it for saving Myka." He's like, "No, I genuinely saw it." I'm like, "Wait a minute. How could you have genuinely seen it if you're from this timeline instead of that timeline?"
Okay, first of all, don't try to explain time travel. It never works out.
Exactly. Freaking
That was- I
bubble
love
guppies. We're
that
all in this
part.
episode.
Okay, second of all, you have the bronze Paracelsus in Warehouse 9. You have
the first one.
Yeah, it's all the same Paracelsus. But
Yeah,
you have the bronze Paracelsus in Warehouse 9. Then you have the Paracelsus from the original timeline that's gone back to Warehouse 9. So he's been bronzed on bronzed and then goes back in time.
To kill the Regents.
To kill the Regents, yes. So you've got him. And then that same guy you're seeing in the future in Warehouse, the modernized Warehouse 13. So
With
when
Valda.
that Paracelsus was bronzed, the one in the future went away. Also, the one in the future didn't have one of the forks, so he was not isolated from the time slippage. So he was, in effect, gone now. You just have the original bronze Paracelsus, and then the Paracelsus that was bronze for 500 years, and then went back in time. So it's really the same guy, but they're both bronzed.
I'm like, Pete, la, 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 la. Don't explain it to me. I mean,
my question. Okay. So the second Paracelsus, the one that went back in time to kill the Regents, he took things to make sure he didn't get bronzed again. How the hell did he get bronzed in that past? Was it because
the
it was a different... No, he didn't get stuck with the arrow.
Yeah, Pete stuck him with the arrow.
No, he got stuck with a scalpel.
Okay.
He got stuck with a scalpel, but that wouldn't change the stuff that he took so that he didn't get bronzed when they tried to bronze him.
No. Yeah, the scalpel probably did it.
Right. Bubble
see,
guppies.
so many questions.
So if unless the bronzing that they did with the machine was different than the bronzing that they were doing in Warehouse 9, and that's how he got bronzed, because they bronzed him in Warehouse 9 twice. The first one and the second one. But the second one, the one from the timeline that we knew, said the reason why he didn't get bronzed in that timeline, because he said he took things because he knew how the bronzer worked. So how did they bronze him then? Bubble guppies?
Maybe they only worked once.
Bubble guppies.
Also, can I just say that I'm happy that HG's machine saved the day again, but what?
Yeah.
There's
HG's time machine and this thing and that thing and this thing and that thing.
So there's so many things happening right now. It's like the timelines and storylines are like loose spaghetti at the moment. And I'm like, okay.
I'll admit, I got lost when they were in the computer room with Hugh, with Abigail. So it was Claudia and Pete and Abigail was the human computer, like Minority Report or whatever.
Yeah.
I got lost there because we never actually saw them get the date out. So that whole, I'm just guessing in the script that was part of it, and they cut it for time, or it wasn't working out or whatever. So we missed that whole thing of them going low level and finding the actual date.
Sneaky.
Because of that, I was like, what, why are you going back to this date? How did you find that out? And we never see it. It's just explained as they're just about to go back in time.
Question 2.
Yes.
When they sent Abigail away, did he snatch her before she got far? Or, I mean, how did they even get Abigail? How did they get Hugo and the doctor?
Oh, they're from that timeline. So the only reason that Pete, Myka, Jinx, Claudia, and Artie knew about their timeline where Abigail had gone away, the only reason they stuck and didn't change was because he handed them those, what were those things called?
Forks.
Tuning forks?
Tuning forks.
Because they had tuning forks.
No,
that's the only reason they had whatever forks they were. They were some kind of fork.
They were Louis XIV's silverware forks. During his reign, the Palace of Versailles would often experience time slips, and somehow his silverware was imbued with the power to keep him and his court in the same time continuum. Once held, it protects the holder from temporal changes.
Yeah, so they are the only ones that knew time changed. So for Abigail and everybody else, like Valda, because Valda's there, somehow in his, in that past, he didn't die because he wasn't a regent. He didn't go through the whole thing. So that's how Abigail became the computer, because she never wasn't the same Abigail that was in our timeline. I know.
I'm going to
La,
say
la,
it's
la,
safe
la,
to
la.
say that this storyline was rushed because of the impeding ending.
It may be. I was okay with it. I likened it a lot to Back to the Future 2. And if you've ever seen the Back to the Future series, the second movie, it moves at the speed of light. It's going all over the place, all over the time. It's breaking time travel rules left, right, and backwards. And you're like, I don't understand what's going on, but it doesn't matter because it's just this cool adventure that you're going on. Same here. As far as Abigail goes, by the way, she is the keeper, and she would probably still be the keeper. And which
Maybe.
makes sense because she has all
Well,
the knowledge.
I don't know, because the regents weren't there to make those rules. So would she actually be the keeper?
I think the keeper is there no matter what.
I don't know about that.
Well, it makes sense for her to be the computer keeping information.
That's true. If she's that kind of keeper, yes. But I don't think she's the same type of keeper in that timeline. La, 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 la.
Okay. So you guys mentioned that there were a lot of artifacts.
Yes,
The
there
trivia
were
for
a
the
ton.
episode actually says that this episode has the most brand new artifacts of any episode. There's a total of 21 of them.
Yeah. So when they were doing the time travel thing, I don't know which piece he used, but one of them looks like the flux capacitor out of time of Back to the Future. In his creation of this time machine, one of the things he used, it looked just like the flux capacitor. I'm like, hey.
That was the Tesla coil, which
Was
HG
it?
used for her time machine.
Yeah. And the bicycle that Chinks had to pedal with your butt, not your knees. Always do.
Pedal with your ass, not your knees. Good old Jinx.
Yeah. I didn't feel like this one was as rushed as the last one. I felt this one brought back its humor because there was a lot of funny one-liners. There was a lot of humor in this one, even though it was like everything was, but there were a lot of references to Star Trek, the Borg.
I know, I saw that. I was like,
They have Borg here?
The Borg is so funny because his ex-wife was a Borg.
I know. Or Luke, use the fork.
Star Wars.
Did you guys catch the double meaning of the Prada when he said these are Prada pants? Did you guys catch that?
No.
I remember
they were
hearing him
shoes.
say it.
They were shoes.
Probably not. So it was when they went back to the Warehouse 9 and Lisa DaVinci had captured Myka and they were going back and forth and Pete slips in a line that says something like his pants are Prada.
I thought it was his shoes.
Well, it could have been
I think
his
it was
shoes. It
his
didn't
shoes.
matter. She was saying something about his style, his clothing style.
And it
said,
just came in weird clothing.
These are Prada. Okay. Lisa DaVinci, did she look familiar to you?
Well, of course she did. She was in a lot of things.
She was.
He's the witch in Once Upon a Time.
Yes.
Green
that's
with
where
Envy.
She's from.
Rebecca. Her name is Rebecca.
Yeah. Rebecca Matter. Or
Matter, yes.
MADR. 51
Yeah,
acting
she
credits
was.
since 2000, including the 2005 movie Hitch, the 2006 movie The Devil Wears Prada.
Where was she in the movie?
She was Jacqueline.
I have to.
She's
I love
younger.
that movie. I have to
Yeah.
watch it again. I can't
So
remember.
after that, 22 episodes of Lost as Dr. Charlotte Lewis.
yeah,
5 episodes.
that was the other thing.
Yeah, 5 episodes of No Ordinary Family as Victoria Morrow. 2 episodes of Fringe. Now, admittedly, I didn't remember her as Jessica Holt. In 2013, she was in Iron Man 3 as the sweatshop agent.
I think I remember that.
I only remember her in Once Upon a Time.
1 episode of
Yes.
Warehouse 13. So this is the one and only time we get to have her, which is such a pity because she is so good. And
Yes.
67 episodes of Once Upon a Time.
She had some of the best one-liners in this one. What? You don't use what did they call that thing? The purple.
Oh, yes. Yeah, okay.
you don't use a purple what? Purple
Purple Swamp.
Swamphen? I have it written down. Hold on.
swamphen? That's just madness.
But that's where the purple goo comes from.
Yeah.
I mean, are they killing
I
these
know,
little
Myka.
dragons?
Myka, don't you have purple gloves or purple goo or something? And she's like, I just called her Isabella. What's an Isabella?
Purple swamphen, SWAMPHEN. It's actually a real bird in northern Africa.
Oh, well, I didn't know that.
Now, the version that we saw was animated,
Obviously.
and it was hopped.
You mean it's not a dragon?
Would have been cooler as a dragon. That would have been really cool. What do you mean you don't use the purple swamphen?
How do you subdue artifacts in the
How do you
future?
subdue artifacts? That's just madness. She did have some of the best lines.
I like Pete's line when he's trying to
Did.
not explain to Myka about how Paracelsus got out, what's
Yeah.
going on. What?
Well, I don't know what you're talking
That's
about.
not
That's not
important
important.
I just have to say I'm right. I was right. I was totally right. You guys didn't believe
No.
me. I said Artie knew what was going on with Myka, and you guys were,
That's so
no,
funny.
no, you weren't.
No,
And
I
I'm like,
didn't.
He absolutely knew exactly what was
and
going
when he
on.
said
Told
about
ya.
what's going on down there.
We
Yeah.
agreed. We agreed you were right.
No, you guys
Yes,
were
we
like,
did.
no, you guys were saying, no, that's not Artie. That's it.
No, we
he's
said,
clueless.
oh no, he probably does know what is going on. He just doesn't want to say anything about
Not
it.
what
But
the
it was
podcast
both.
said.
It was funny that both of them were like, so everything's good down there. She's like, we are never talking about my parts ever again.
Yeah.
Pete, though, he's like, so the boobies are okay.
Just want to go
Oh,
on record and,
jeez.
and for her to say, don't do it again. I'm your partner, not your girlfriend.
Yes, that was the important part. At the end, she's like,
5 episodes later.
my
Yeah.
partner, not your girlfriend.
And he came back under his breath after she left and said, yeah, I'm still doing it.
Well, yeah, of course he is, because, he's still her partner, and you would do anything for your partner.
He'd do it for Claudia, too.
Yeah,
Yeah, he would do it for Claudia. He would do it for Jinx. He would do it for Artie, obviously, because they have done things like that before. Warehouse or no
I mean,
warehouse.
For Jinx, he'd even take his shirt off. So, right?
It's true.
At some
True.
point, you have to make a decision on what's best for the warehouse, though. It's been done before. Valda even died in the original timeline doing
of
what was
course.
best for the warehouse, right? So at some point in time, you have to make that choice. But most of the time, those choices are the individual's choice and not somebody else making the choice.
I think it was really one of my favorite parts will be the Myka coming back when she has they're trying to go through the shield, and Artie thinks
Nobody
that
read it?
spreading purple goo all over a rental car will get it through the shield. He's like, yeah, watch this, and he just throws purple goo. See, it goes through just fine.
Where
He
did
comes
they
and he
get
rams.
the milk pails of purple goo when they can't get into the warehouse?
Exactly.
Where did they
It's
get
like
those?
it's like
Artie's suitcase, Artie's briefcase.
Milk Artie's bag, his satchel, does not have milk pails.
you never know.
plural.
It's like a Mary
Hey.
Poppins bag.
It's a Mary
endless.
Poppins bag. We don't ask.
It's endless in there.
But then he runs into it and it smashes the car. Oh, yeah, that worked out well.
Jinx is like, let him go first.
Yeah. And then they go and he's like, well, I think we need a large parking lot and a crowbar. And comes
You know how
back,
long it would have taken to
right?
get all those batteries?
They've stolen
And how
all
did
those
how did
batteries.
they carry him back? Seriously.
And the car that's covered with goo now, that's wrecked.
Yeah, they're not getting that deposit back.
All right. Jinx should have backed up a little bit further and he should have gotten up to 88 miles an hour.
Or
That's a nice one. Good one.
no,
a good one.
he needed, if he was going to do that, then he needed a DeLorean to be able to.
He
do it.
needed a Artie size hood ornament. You go first. Let me know how it feels.
Or maybe there just wasn't enough purple goo on the hood and the front end of the car.
Or maybe they should have just read the manual like Myka and she walked right through it.
That was one of my favorite parts. Myka's like, does no one read the manual or the addendums? And Artie's like, well, there was the whole thing where I turned evil and then I tried to take over the world. And both the other two
He's
are
like,
like, oh yeah,
"That's
he
a good
wins.
one."
He wins. That's a good one. That's got to be one of my favorite parts. She's like, does no one read the addendums.
I like how, you see Paracelsus acknowledge you're the next one when he's talking to Claudia.
Yes.
He does.
You're the future.
And you're the
past. It seems the warehouse still has a crush on me.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't mean that she can't be duped by Paracelsus. It just means the warehouse isn't going to kill her and is probably going to protect her as much as they can. So, Shannon, what was your favorite part, or one of your favorite parts? Was it that one where
the manual?
Well, the manual, or Claudia duking it out with Paracelsus?
I think Claudia duking it out. I think the fact that yes, I like the line she says there. My favorite line, obviously, is what she says to Jinx. Tell him to ride with on the bike. He had no greater importance other than riding on the bike. Where did they get a bike in the middle of all that stuff? It's just
that was one of the other artifacts.
Yeah, it was the bike of. Hold on, I was just looking at it.
How did they find all of these artifacts since they're not cataloged like they were in the other art?
I think the aisles are very similar because remember, all the artifacts need to be aligned properly. That doesn't change from warehouse to warehouse.
So the big wall that said Warehouse 13, they just had to go in that, and that's where all their stuff was.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the whole thing was Warehouse 13. They just had banners from the previous warehouses.
Oh.
I like how she just opens up a panel and automatically knows how to work the computer system on them.
Yeah. I'm feeling very Minority Report here.
Jack Lennon's stationary bike, and all I have is used to generate power for the time machine and keep the portal open.
Yeah, there were a lot of artifacts in this one. A lot.
Yeah, and a lot of return ones as well. I mean, the mirror from Alice, the Orville Wright's aviator goggles, Lewis Carroll's mirror that we were just talking about. And
Alice?
Yeah. That was really...
That would have been fun if Alice returned to deal with him.
Hey, Alice could come and play.
And I think if they had the episodes, this would have been a two-parter where you could have done stuff like that, but it was just cut out in the script because they only had 6 episodes. So they had to compress a lot of the story that Jack Kenny wanted to tell this season.
Yeah, and it was interesting to see Vanessa and
Hugo
come back, and they're married.
They have kids. They have kids. And we never see them, but they have kids.
You've never looked at my appendix. Should I be jealous? There were so many good one-liners. Or when Claudia is making a statement to Artie about maybe, about dead relatives and that tension there. And then Pete and Claudia go off and Pete's like, so you going to tell me what that tension was all about? I left my Artie and Claudia decipher handbook in my other pants.
Yeah. Again, I don't entirely blame Claudia, but I think she could have handled things a little bit differently and given Artie a chance to explain himself. Now, Artie did not do himself any favors, especially at the end, where she's like, okay, we have time now. Come clean. What's up with my sister? And he's like, just give me a second. It's like, dude, no. You have brought it up. You have gone through hell, and now you need to come clean. Right there in the warehouse aisle, talk to her about it. And he pushes it off.
Stalled.
So I will say it's mostly Claudia going off the handle about it until that point. And then when she finally says, okay, now's time, and he says, no, I just need a minute. Like, no, you don't get that minute. You have to address it head on, Artie. And he failed.
Just imagine all the inventory they're going to have to do when they finally get rid of Paracelsus, since those aisles have been knocked over multiple times now.
So here's the thing.
So clean up.
So they have knocked stuff around in Warehouse 13, but then there was the time jump, the whole thing. And then when it came back,
put it back together.
Was back in its place.
When they were trying to find the artifacts to recreate the time machine, and they hear screaming, and Artie finds the human experimentation that's going on, and he says, they've turned my warehouse into a warehouse of terror instead of a warehouse. Endless terror.
Yeah.
What? Valda, we've been experimenting with humans for centuries. Excuse me, what?
Wow.
I think that
Wow.
means next episode's called Endless Wonder. I think.
Next episode is called Secret Service. And since
Endless
we're
Wonders
there,
might be
we
next.
usually say it at the end, but since we're talking about it, would you like to hear the IMDb description, the Amazon Prime video description, or the tvguide.com description?
Which one do you think is better?
And there's two that are better and one that is not.
I think TV Guide probably sucks.
Okay.
Okay, so
So you have IMDb or Amazon
IMDb.
Prime Video. IMDb, you've chosen wisely. Pete and Myka returned to Washington, D.C. to investigate a series of victims drowning on dry land, where they run into a pair of fellow Secret Service agents with a surprising secret. A secret which forces Myka and Pete to evaluate where their own relationship has taken them. Meanwhile, Artie uses an artifact to take Claudia back into his memories of an old case to show her the truth of her sister.
No. Did you have a favorite part, SP?
Yeah, I wrote down several.
I have several.
This was just plentiful of different things. It took me a couple watches, though, because I will agree with Shannon. It was very difficult to keep up with everything. And if you're just watching even half in the background, like I am when I'm creating my notes, I'm like, okay, this was just a crazy episode. I need to go back.
It had a lot.
I watched it 3 times, but
did it have a snack bar?
You
You think there's really a snack bar?
Do you think there's and it was funny because I thought that she had brought it up, but she didn't. I think he brought it up.
It was Pete because he said, "What is Oh, hold on, I wrote it down.
I can only imagine Eddie McClintock would probably
McPherson and Sykes running this snack bar because they saw Valda controlling the Borg people. They replicated the artifacts. Yeah. Sorry, please continue with your favorite part because I
want to hear Shannon. She was talking about you can imagine Pete.
I can imagine Pete going off to another show after this and not being able to do the one-liners like he does.
Yeah.
I bet you he's had a hard time finding that kind of comedy.
Yeah, because you get stuck in the freedom because this was 5 years. So you've been doing this for 5 years and all of a sudden you have to downshift and do something else. That was probably difficult for him.
Mm-hmm.
But I did read the manual. I did like the bike ride with your ass, not your knees. I did love the Claudia face off with Paracelsus.
Yeah.
But I think my favorite one out of all of those was the purple swamphen.
I love that
was
thing.
Actually, wait a minute. There's a big bird out there. Yes, I know. I called it. The whole thing was great because I was wondering when goo was invented because we know that goo is manufactured by Global Dynamics, which is the Eureka company.
That's true.
In Warehouse 13. So what happened beforehand? How did they do it beforehand?
How did they touch artifacts?
And we find out the purple swamphen. I have no idea how far back that goes. Like, does it go all the way back to Warehouse 1 or 2?
I forgot that Eureka does that.
Yeah. We've gone into it.
Do they supply the purple gloves too?
Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, my favorite was the purple swamphen, but it did have 3 or 4 scenes to choose from. And that was my preference.
There was also a part where Claudia's trying to find Artie, trying to save Artie. And she comes into like the bottom part of this place. And then you see Paracelsus. Is that right?
Yeah.
Paracelsus.
You said it right. Yeah.
Sweet. Paracelsus and Valda coming through the door and they're on the top part. And she like smashes herself against the stairway. And you just feel this like Darth Vader Obi-Wan moment of them feeling each other and feeling like they're there. And he's like, I have to go check artifacts. I have to go check a couple artifacts. And I'm like, okay, so there's a lot of Star Wars and a lot of and a lot of Star Trek in this episode. It was really cool.
It was. So I did have 2 issues, really small issues with this episode. The first one, we haven't talked about in a while, but we used to talk about it from like season 1 to maybe season 3, the intro. This is the new season 5 intro. Incredible incredibly short. It's like a blurb. And I get
Yeah.
it. They have a lot of story to get to, but I do like a good intro where you have the entrance into Endless Wonder, basically. And this is just like a soundbite to get
Yeah.
into the story. I don't like it.
I miss the long ones.
Yeah.
They don't even do that for shows nowadays
Right.
either.
Well,
Like
not entirely true. Streaming shows, they throw it in there.
some do, some do not.
And some you can skip them. I would prefer to watch them.
I think right now, like on Netflix, or maybe it's Prime, The Wheel of Time,
Yeah.
that intro is amazing. I like it.
Yeah, like the Game of Thrones type style, big grandiose entrances. I
Or-
love them.
The Expanse.
So I have not seen the new Daredevil on Disney Plus, but I used to watch it on Netflix. They had amazing graphics for their intros, all 3 seasons over on Netflix. I am just, because my son wanted me to start, I've just started watching Severance on Apple TV Plus.
I heard
And
that's
it's
good.
not anything what I thought it was going to be, by the way. But the intro to that is also very elaborate, and it gets you into the mind frackness of the episode. And I'll just spoil it. Not my favorite series, but I can
I think
watch
I
it.
watched 1 or 2 of those and I just couldn't get into it. It just
Yeah.
it didn't
Dark.
pull me in.
It's dark humor, that sort of thing. Yeah.
It didn't pull me in. Although the one that I have to say I really loved and would play over and over again when I saw it was the longer entrance to The Expanse. They had 2. They had the shorter one and then they had the longer one, which was this beautiful song. I really got to find that song to like just have. And I loved it because it was
I think I
really
did
well done.
buy the season 1 soundtrack for that. But I would like to
I probably
ask
need to find
our
it.
audience, what is your favorite intro? And could be anything, could be even a short one. I don't care because it's what's favorite to you, but I would like to know what's the favorite to you. I like the long, like
Isn't
I
it
said,
funny how
the music.
when you find your favorite show and you notice these differences on the theme songs, on the intros?
Mm-hmm.
As a kid, I loved watching the cop show called Hunter.
Yep.
I love that show. And the intro to that show later on in the seasons, and they changed it and they slowed it down and they're showing more pictures of LA. And I'm like, no, I'd still rather have
the original.
the
Yeah.
original.
I mean,
Yeah.
as a grown up, I can instantly hear or hum in the back of my mind intros to different songs, like the A-Team, Magnum
Oh,
PI, Dallas,
Knight Rider.
Knight Rider.
Dallas.
Yeah, Dallas.
play Dallas.
Just all these grandiose series with really cool intros. ER had a intro in it, and they didn't really change it. They just put the different people in from season to season because they had like 21 seasons or something like that.
I like
No,
Jag.
Wiley's coming back with a another
Yeah,
doctor series.
I've seen previous. I liked watching the intro of Jag.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
was fun. I used to have that
Star
as my
Trek
ringtone for a long
Voyager.
time.
Star
Star
Trek
Trek
Voyager. That
Discovery
song
is my favorite.
I love that one.
It's been a long road.
Nope, that's Enterprise.
I know.
That's Enterprise.
That's Enterprise. I know the difference.
I loved the orchestra part on Discovery.
Yes.
On the intro of Discovery. That right there is like when I listen to Star Trek, I start there. I start right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even though it's
that
not my
was a good one,
favorite
too.
Star Trek, but I start there.
That was a good soundtrack too.
All right. So I've had my say. The intro's really short, and I just don't like it.
It must be really
said-
short because I don't even remember it.
Right?
Yeah,
Neither did I.
exactly.
As soon as you said it, I was like, "Oh, I think I forgot." I
It
think
was like 2 or 3
skipped it.
seconds. It was not
Oh.
long at all.
Well, no
But
wonder
it's
I missed it.
basically
They
just
probably
a
did dun
pan.
dun dun.
Yeah, it's a pan out
Yeah.
of the warehouse, and then they pan into them on the what do you
Scaffolding.
call it? The scaffolding or whatever.
It is
outside the
Whatever it
sad
office.
that Jinx never makes it onto that balcony with them.
I know.
I don't remember if I saw him or not. I'll
Never
have to-
once.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
What was your other thing? You said you had 2.
The other thing that I had, and we've talked about it before, but it's happened now, so I just want to bring it up. Myka's cancer just instantly being cured.
Yeah, it was benign.
Then what was the point for all of this?
Yeah.
There,
Yeah.
I said it.
Exactly. Unless it was just to have Pete do what he did and have
But she
the
was having-
storyline of peristalsis.
physical reactions, like the tiredness that you get with some cancers and stuff like that. That's why she went to the doctor. Well, she went to the doctor because of the
annual physical.
There were effects to the illness, and then all of a sudden, now don't worry, it's just
but
benign.
a lot of those things can cause things like those things.
But
so you don't have to have cancer to get, if it's in that area.
In the previous episode, my doctor called and, he was worried about some things. He wants me to do the surgery tomorrow. Okay. That means you're worried and it's got to be taken care of right now. Like, my head. But then, never mind. It's okay. It's benign. It's okay. Go home. Take 2 Advil and call me tomorrow. What?
Don't lift anything heavy and don't eat spicy foods.
And when is the last time a doctor just let you be taken over? And no, they walk.
No, they wheel you out. They wheel you out to the front door. They do not just let somebody take over. That's not happening.
That is a liability. That's why they do that.
Right?
And then they fly down to South Africa to go to the Innes Observatory, which by the way has changed names since then.
Hope that Advil's working great for you at the moment.
And then fly back to South Dakota. That's like, that's not instantaneous. That was probably a bad choice of observatories to use.
She said drive fast. Maybe they drove there.
They drove to the observatory.
In South Africa.
Oh.
Sure.
Well,
they drove fast.
They're driving fast to the airport.
So she specifically says the Innes Observatory, which has changed names to the Johannesburg or Johannes, I forget what it is, observatory. It's in South Africa. It's like, you probably should have chose something that was
local
in North America, maybe in Colorado. There are observatories in Colorado that they could have chosen. Whatever.
Maybe she just
way
mispronounced
much closer.
It. I got bubble guppies. That's all.
Anyway, those were my 2 small quabbles for the episode of really short intro and Myka's cancer instantly be gone. Jack Kenny has said we didn't have time for the story and that wasn't the focus, so that's why we just jumped over it.
So it would have been longer, probably. It would have been dragged out.
It was like 3 or 4, maybe 5 episodes of the last half of season 4, and
it was a pointless storyline.
Yeah, pointless.
It's benign. Moving on. Next.
Have another question. How did Valda get a hold of a tuning fork or a fork? How did he get a hold of a fork?
So
how did that happen?
After the first one, I was thinking the same thing. Shannon, do you have the answer?
No.
Bubble guppy?
Remember when Valda and with Paracelsus, they were going back and forth, and Paracelsus was like, no, I'm going to get this. I'm going to go kill him.
Yeah.
Valda, the entire time, has noticed something was amiss around him. Back to when the Borg were, he looked over where Pete and Claudia were. So he knew things were going on. And if you carefully follow the conversations between Paracelsus and with Valda, Valda knows that something funky with time is going on. Valda knows all the artifacts because he's been experimenting with them. So he knows these tuning forks. If there's some time dilation going on, he knows these tuning forks, not the tuning forks. These
I got you saying it.
Yeah, you did. These silver, because they look like tuning forks. I get it.
They do look like tuning forks. That's why
that's how forks used to look like.
Yeah, but they're actually what they used to look
Dinner
like.
forks.
Yeah. So he knows that they will stabilize him. So he goes and gets one.
Mm-hmm.
And that saves him when they bronze Paracelsus. Valda's still in the warehouse. So that's why. You never see it. But he immediately, when Paracelsus says, I have this, he's like, I need an insurance policy. And he goes to get it.
And Artie does notice there are only 11, not 12. There should be 12. So where did that 12th one go?
But I did not catch it the first time.
See, I was like, hey, how did he get a hold of that? That was my question. One of my questions.
And they were using
so many questions.
When they saw the Borg, I like how that artifact that was on the soldier's back is the one that was on.
Yeah.
What was it called? Scarin?
The Saracen, I think.
Saracen.
Yeah.
Something like that. That was a good episode. Season 1.
Yeah, the spine of Saracen. This artifact
was the first
reproduced.
One that tried to kill Pete.
Yep. That was, if I remember, that was the episode that I started saying this series is dark.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because he had to go in. He electrocuted himself to get him off the back, and she had to go in and hurt Rebecca. Do CPR on? Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
Love that episode.
Pete is still hitting on people, so he hits Lisa DaVinci. She's like, "What are you doing after?"
I mean, I would.
Claudia's like, "Pete." He's like, "Oh yeah, sorry." And then when they come back to the warehouse and they're going to chase down Valda, she's sitting there going, "Okay, you go here and we're going to go there." And Pete's like, "Man, she's so bossy." And Myka's like, "You love it." He's like, "I do."
Yes.
He has, I think it's a very good toss-up between Pete and Claudia, who have the best one-liners.
Yeah.
I can't, I guess it just depends on what episode we're watching. I mean, some days Claudia is on point with all of them. Bam, bam, bam. And then everything that comes out of Pete's mouth, everything comes out of his mouth is I'm like, that's funny. That's funny. That's so Pete. That's so Pete.
There wasn't any food in this one, though. I didn't see any food.
If you like the dialogue, do you want to guess who the writer is?
Greenberg? Green? Who?
Drew. It's not Drew.
Who?
It's Jack Kenny, the showrunner.
Yeah.
He does have some writing credits to his name. This is the last one of Warehouse 13. He did 8 total episodes. But he also did, just to remind everybody, 6 episodes of Caroline in the City, 54 episodes of Titus, 2 episodes of Falling Skies, and talking about Noah Wiley.
Noah Wiley. Yeah, that's a good show. I liked that
and
show.
And 2 episodes of Jessica Jones, which a lot of people think was the most cerebral of the Netflix stuff. He was also the director of the episode, and he's the showrunner, so he had full control over this one. Yeah.
Maybe that's why it was a little bit more lighthearted, and it reminded me a lot of past like the ones where they were lighthearted. They kind of made me giggle, and I was invested in the characters. Like the last episode, I just was like, it felt disconnected.
Checked out. Yeah.
I just disconnected from that. I mean, I know it was the season finale, but I was so disconnected from that last episode. This one, I'm like, oh, there's my warehouse people.
I'm so disconnected. I don't remember the last episode.
Now, Jack Kenny has 2 more directing credits of Warehouse 13, episodes 4 and 6. So he does the finale, the series finale. And
yeah,
I did see it. I have been open about that. I've watched all the way to the end because I'm like, I just have to figure out where this is going. And I do remember that the feel of the last episode, which is called Endless, very, very much like this one, Endless Terror.
You're one of those that reads the end of a mystery book because you just can't wait.
I've already seen it when it first came out.
I know, but still, you read the end of mystery books. You do.
You know what? I am a big fan of authors on Reddit and Patreon that are doing chapter by chapter. So I don't know the endings to those.
But if you had the choice, you probably would go and read the ending.
Some cases I do. Some cases I do. That goes back to Tom Clancy books because those are freaking like 1,600 pages. Like, okay, I need to know what happens.
That's like seeing the ending of an Outlander thing that's been 8 seasons in. I'm like, just give me the answer already.
You gotta have patience. Sheesh.
There are benefits to that, like Lost. Okay, I'm going to watch the last episode. I hadn't seen anything, and I didn't do this, by the way. But if I did, I'll go to a watch party, and I will watch it with true fans and see what they feel about it. And if they feel good about it, I'd be like, okay, I'll go back and watch it. And if they don't feel good about it, I'm like, okay, I'm glad I didn't waste my time. In this particular case, I didn't need to do that because it was all over the internet. That ending sucked. So I didn't have to worry about it.
The ending did suck, but the show itself, when it was on, it was actually a really good show. The ending did. It sucked. Big bubble poop. And yeah. But the rest of the show actually, I think it was fun because there was like the show and then there was like all of the stuff on the internet. Like you could go on the internet and there was like all of the things you could look up and there was little Easter eggs everywhere. Like they were just getting put out everywhere. So I think the show was good. I liked the show up until the ending. They could have done so much better. Oh, it was terrible.
I think one of the things
that it was worth watching.
This series, a good series, is they stuck the landing. And I referenced 12 Monkeys in the intro. One of the reasons I think that is a good series, they stuck the landing. You need to stick the landing. Chuck, they did not stick the landing with me. Hate it. How I Met
Game
Your
of
Mother
Thrones
did
didn't.
not stick the landing. Hate it.
I was okay with Continuum's ending. It was rushed
was.
because he didn't get what he needed. But it was okay.
I
Yeah.
enjoyed it. I liked it.
I enjoyed it.
Quantum Leap, I could live with that ending. The original series Quantum Leap, I can live with that. So, I mean, there's series that are like, oh yeah, I get it. Of course, we're all fans of Star Trek The Next Generation. They nailed that ending both times.
Yeah.
Both
Speaking
times.
of, as
Picard.
literally, as you just said that, I was looking like that popped up.
Right? Isn't that great?
The Justice
That
I'm like,
League.
what am
me
I
up.
watching? What the hell am I seeing?
Yeah.
She's
For
got
those
the
that
cape.
are on the podcast, you want to explain what you're seeing there?
Look at the Batman.
Do you want to
can't even-
explain what you're
I can't
seeing
even-
there?
There's
Yeah.
this thing on Twitter.
I think I sent it to you, didn't I? Or I sent it to you on Instagram or something.
Armis Skin of Evil parody. It's a parody account. And it is the Justice League written in the TNG lettering, the font, right? The Next Generation. And you've got the characters from TNG all are wearing, you know what? I'm not a DC fan, but okay. So you've got Deanna, as in Wonder Woman. Jordy's the Flash. You've got Riker as Batman.
I know
He's
that
got
would
the
crack
ears.
me up.
He's got the ears and his eyes aren't covered. It looks like Mickey Mouse.
All I could think of is the Riker maneuver with the big cape and the bat suit.
Right.
So now, you know, and then Worf is Superman.
Yeah.
What is Picard?
I could see that.
Is that Aquaman?
I don't know. Let me see again.
Aquaman?
Oh, yeah, it's Aquaman.
I know that
I don't know
Beverly,
what Data is, though.
I
What
don't know
is
either.
Data? What is that thing?
I would
I don't even
actually
know.
go. I know they wanted to go good rather than bad, but with Picard, I would go Lex Luthor.
Oh, that would have been good.
Yeah.
But what
Shaved
is
head,
he
no.
here? What is that? The
I don't know what
goldish color.
Data is. I don't know what that is.
Oh, there's a cyborg in DC. They
Oh,
tried to
okay.
throw it in the Justice League. It
I think-
didn't.
I
I
think
don't know that
Picard
one.
is Aquaman and Beverly is Arrow.
Is Beverly Arrow? Let me
Well,
see that
Arrow
again.
or maybe Huntress.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. I don't know DC very well.
Again, I don't know DC at all. I can't get in where you can see that.
She has a hood. It might be Arrow.
It
She's
could
got
be
arrows
Poison
behind
Ivy
her.
too. I don't know.
Okay.
Let me take a look
Let
at
me
it.
just send this to you too.
No, I already have it. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
It was sent to me by a very
I think I sent
annoying
it to both of you.
fan.
Hey, I'm not that annoying.
Oh, no. That's Adam. That's not Cyborg. That's Adam, which is very much like Iron Man in the thing. And then she, yeah, I'd have to go Huntress with her. I don't know if that's really what it is, but that's what I would say it was. I'm not here's the funny part. I podcasted through the entire series of Arrow and a lot of the other CW shows that were out.
Mhm.
And I'm not a DC fan. They made me the opposite in following
think
that
the-
series to the end.
Oh, yeah. I stopped watching Arrow.
I couldn't because I was
think the one
podcasting
that
on it.
cracks me the most up is definitely Riker. Riker
Yeah,
cracks
no.
me the most up, that one.
And I think it's because he doesn't have it. It's not
Dying.
covering his eyes like a normal Batman. So you have the pointy ears that looks like a weird Mickey Mouse kind of.
Right? I'm dying. But yeah, no, I think Supergirl and Arrow were great when they started, and then definitely made me not a DC fan. I just
No.
lost interest. Oh, another part that cracked me up.
What?
Another favorite part was when Artie and Myka went down to the place where the warehouse's brain is. What's it called?
The Eldorani.
Yes, that. The they went down there and he has the mirrors and he's, say, okay, we have to do this simultaneously and put the flame back in the holes. And she's like, wait, ka-chew! And she's like, okay. She's just like, they randomly put a sneeze in there.
I think they just did that for some comic relief because it really didn't.
I cracked
didn't
me up.
fit I know, but it didn't fit there. It's like,
No, it
why?
didn't, but it was still funny.
Why did you do? Well, why did you even need to do it? I just don't understand. I think that was a poor directorial choice. Maybe perhaps in one of the takes she sneezed and they just kept it in. I could go
Probably.
with that.
But then he's like, "Oh, come on!" And it lights up.
Yeah, with the last two. It's like,
Yeah.
we need the 4 flames. There are 4 lights.
Lights.
There are 4 lights.
I need that shirt.
Yes.
No one unless you're a Trekkie would get it.
There are 4 lights.
All right, it's time to play the game. You guys ready to play the game?
Sure.
The game is there are 59 episodes of Warehouse 13 that we've watched, and I have ranked every single one of them 1 to 59.
And I don't remember any of them.
Where do you think
You never do.
I ranked this one?
Neither do
37.
I.
What did you say?
37.
37?
Hmm. 15.
15. So Carolyn's at 15, Shannon's at 37. I will say bum 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 ba-da-dum bum 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 ba-da-dum bum 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 ba-da-dum. 4.
What?
Endless Wonder number 4. So number 1 was 321, the episode with H.G. Wells and with the rocket. So of
That's
course
your
that's
number
gonna
1
be,
episode?
Yeah, that's my number 1.
That's always been rockets.
Yeah.
Duh.
And it was just
True.
good. It had the steampunk. You had the 2 different timelines. If you haven't seen,
You had the missing cows.
I like the time
Yes.
dilations, right? So
And the beach ball.
season
I
3,
should have guessed that since it has time
Yeah,
travel. I should have
travel.
guessed that. My bad.
season
You
3.
keep throwing us curveballs. I never know which one. I just throw out a number, and then you're always like, "Well, actually, it was 4." Really?
Season 3, episode 12, Stan, which was the finale of season 3. The penultimate, Emily Lake, who's the next one in season 3, episode 11. And then this is the next one. And here's where I was like, because the next one on my list, this was another one that surprised you guys. It was season 4, episode 5, No Pain, No Gain. It was the hockey player one.
Mm-hmm.
And I put it up high because hockey and also because I like the episode. And I was like, do I put it above that or below that? And then below it is 40th Floor. So I have placed the hockey one above 40th Floor. I was like, oh, geez. So I was like, where do I put this one? Endless Terror. It had a lot of artifacts. It had the time travel. It had a lot of callbacks. It had a lot of witty dialogue. It had everything good in it that I wanted to. It had Claudia sticking up for herself. And
True.
in multiple ways. I'm like, yeah, this has to be number 4. This is up there.
And this is the episode where, I don't know if you caught that, but when Claudia's like, and Artie's like, and when did you start making decisions? You know, and then she just said it and walked away. He's like, you're right.
He did not fight it at all. He knew that she needed that space.
And this is the first episode where she's like, the warehouse feels different. Like it's changing. And I don't know if it's good or bad.
Or bad. Yeah, something's
Jinx
changing.
is like, I wish I knew, I wish you were lying, but I know you're not.
And it's a little bit of both, unfortunately. But we have 5 episodes to see.
Claudia's going to be Artie's boss. So really, can he say anything? No.
I don't. Yeah. Okay.
She'll be a
say
caretaker.
We'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there. All right. Did either of you two receive any emails or tweets or anything from feedback
No.
from listeners?
Mm-mm.
All right.
Not this time.
Well, we did get a text message, and by we, I mean I got a text message. So, it's somebody
Oh.
that I know because I don't
Yeah.
give my phone number out to everybody. It was actually a couple
What?
episodes ago.
You mean it's not on everybody
Yeah,
page?
It's not. Yeah, just hit me up on Signal. Just give me there.
Oh, well, is that's where everybody goes to send out like secret documents. and
Secret,
things.
yeah, behind the things production.
Mhm. Yeah.
Anyway, I got a text message. So a couple of episodes ago, we were wondering if a show that's on the same network that we're on the Lone Wolf Podcast Network. There's another show on that network called Decades of Decay USA, and that is run by Beef and Rita. and
Yep.
they go exploring into abandoned places and then have both a podcast and a YouTube channel, and they have all sorts of social media that they show video clips and everything. But we were wondering a couple shows ago about the smell of a jail.
Remember
Do you
that.
remember that, Shannon? We were talking about the smell of a jail.
yes.
Yep. And so
Quite vividly remember.
she listened to the
I
show.
can't forget.
And she said, just finished listening to Artie's Attic. We have done one abandoned women prison last year. Yesterday was a tour of the Joliet Correctional Center, Joliet, Illinois Correctional Center. So they've been in two. And I asked her if they smelled it or whatever. And she's like, yeah, it just smells like any other abandoned gross building.
So just a
the second one they did a tour on was is it current or
I don't know if it was current and they went in, because usually they don't allow just tourism into
right? I was like, I don't
operational,
understand. So it's not operational anymore, probably.
or maybe it's in the middle of renovation, or maybe they just created it and they were giving tours out to people that went in. I don't know. Or maybe
A
they
lot of
just
people
took it
like
out of
tours.
commission. I'm not sure. She didn't say. I didn't ask.
You know, in the time that I worked at the jail, the moment you walk in and you put away your cell phones and stuff because you can't bring that in the jail, the moment you walk down like a little catwalk into it, the smell of warm
Yeah.
body odor,
Yes,
urine.
an occupied gym smells like a sweaty man box.
socks, blankets, cat litter, it all smells like the same thing, because some of those people that are in a group, like 15 or more, are in one pod together, it definitely smells. But sometimes just as much if you have an individual in just one solitary, it smells just as bad, because they'll get in there and they will soak their blankets and bed sheets and all that stuff on purpose, hoping you'll come out and change it so they can get, like, even if it means just getting moved to a different cell for an hour, they'll do it just because they're
Doesn't
tired of being
surprise
where they
me.
are. But they'll soak them, or like a lot of times we would go in for fight calls and they would pee on the floor on purpose, knowing that we were going to be able to get into it. So I always took them down chest first into it. If it's going to get on my shoes, fine, but it's going to be in your face. Then my knee's going to be on your back.
Yep.
No pee on me.
So this is what she actually said. Kind of industrial, stale air, peeling paint sent to the places. Think damp, musty basement.
Yes.
It sounds
That's what
about
she
right.
said. Yeah.
With no longer any hot bodies to, keep it decaying from that. That's something that
Right.
makes sense.
And if you want to see more or hear more about a couple of explorers going into abandoned places, it's Decades of Decay on your podcatcher, or Decades of Decay USA on YouTube. They also have social media accounts all over the place. That is Beef and Rita.
Pivot.com?
You know what? If it is, it's probably decadesofdecayusa.com.
Probably.
I think
Yeah.
my sister now follows them.
It's a cool thing they do.
Yep. All right. So we already talked about Secret Service. That's coming up next time. Either of you have anything left on the table for this episode?
Nope. All done.
All
Sneaky,
right.
sneaky, quiet.
All right. So that's it. That's all I got. Until next time, I'm the Janitor SP.
The Sci-Fi Girl. Bye, guys.
Ocean 363. I need to find that snack bar.
Admiral Akbar, snack bar.
It's a twap.
Thanks for joining us for an episode of the Artie's Attic Warehouse 13 Fancast. You can find all our episodes at warehouse13fancast.com. If you'd like to contact us, you can hit us up on our email at warehouse13fancast@gmail.com. We are a part of the Lone Wolf Podcast Network. You can hear more of this cast and other shows like it by checking out lonewolfpodcasts.com. The intro music is Sci-Fi Hybrid Intro by Soundmake, and the outro music is Science Fiction by Tunes to Go. Both were purchased on pond5.com.
I never had floaties until my head popped, so now I have them too. And the human, he was telling me that he was looking at what he called the plumbing of my eyes. I'm like, that's awful weird, but okay, I'm going to use that from now on.
Yes,
The plumbing. He said he said you could tell that they had been bulged out. I'm like, well, I guess a hemorrhage will do that to you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Not to mention the pressure that they probably had on because that 7-centimeter aneurysm that was behind my right eye.
Yeah,
So-
they can tell a lot by looking at the back plane of your eye. They can tell if you have diabetes. They can tell if you've had heart issues. They can tell a lot.
It's kind of cool. So yeah, I've got to go get glasses again. He's like, where do you wear them? I said, most of the day, my glasses are on top of my head.
There's something different about you, SP. Trying to put my finger on it.
I don't have. It's the same SP.
There's something missing.
It's probably some brain cells.
Oh, it's like this thing, your face.
Yeah.
There's
The
more of your face.
caterpillar.
There's less fuzz.
So I shaved it like really late at night, Monday night, which was March 31st. And it has nothing to do with April Fool's Day, but it just coincides with April Fool's Day. The beard is on 6 months out of the year and off 6 months out of the year. So it's April 1st to October 1st. That's the time frame. And I have swayed both back and forth, but if I don't have any pressing engagement, like my daughter got married in October, she's like, Dad, yeah, don't start growing your beard until after the wedding. I'm like, okay. So the last time I shaved that year was the morning of the wedding. All right. I'm calling you both out. I watched an episode of Farscape. I did my part.
I had no time.
You did not
Ain't
watch
nobody
Orphan
got time
Back.
for that.
You cannot call yourself sci-fi girl anymore.
Yes,
Unfortunately,
I can.
I contacted Dorothy and she refuses to do any more voiceover, so I could not change the
can I not
intro.
call myself
That's
sci-fi
okay,
girl?
because I talked to Jody and she says, I was just kidding. I don't actually want you to do
She
that.
needs to actually, tell us that then, because I can't take your word for that.
What was it you said I lost sci-fi girl for?
Because you did not watch an episode of The Expanse.
I'm about as motivated to Expanse as this one is to Orphan Black.
I'm motivated. It's just
You're
the
not
time
motivated.
frame.
Look,
I don't have any time. Literally, I have been doing
in the middle
things.
of the night.
The main
when I need to be
character
sleeping.
of the entire series is actually hidden, and it is somebody that you would like in
What'd
The
you say?
Expanse.
Main character in the Expanse.
Yeah, the main character of The Expanse.
Yes, Drummer.
Literally.
You
Drummer.
would love Drummer.
She doesn't
Remember
start
we showed you a picture?
I remember you sending me. Yeah,
She does not start out as the main character. She ends as the main character.
She does. Yes,
And
she
how
does.
far into the episodes before we see Drummer?
Get into season 1, you'll see her.
She's in season 1.
And I'm not losing my sci-fi girl credits just because I don't watch The Expanse.
Oh yeah, you
No.
lose it. It's gone.
No.
I literally would have changed the intro, but Dorothy refused to do it.
Good. Glad our paychecks
Just
got to her.
because she was mad at me, not because she didn't think that you guys deserve to lose it.
What'd you do to Dorothy?
I don't know.
He didn't like her boobs.
I love her boobs.
Tetons.
Exactly.
It was the wrong
Tetons.
plaid. She wore the wrong plaid or something like that. That's what it was. She
Just
wore the wrong
Green
plaid.
and yellow. It just didn't match well. No.
It didn't make her Tetons stand out enough. There wasn't enough Tetons. That's the problem.
Anyway, that's why the intro didn't change. I had every intention to change it last weekend, and I actually tried to, and it's just like, didn't work. All right, it's time to play the game. You guys ready to play the game?
Sure.
The game is, there are 59 episodes of Warehouse 13 that we've watched, and I have ranked every single one of them 1 to 59.
And I don't remember any of them.
Where do you think
You never do.
I ranked this one?
Neither do I.
37.
What did you say?
37.
37?
15.
15. So Carolyn's at 15, Shannon's at 37. I will say bum 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 ba-da-dum bum 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 ba-da-dum bum 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 ba-da-dum. 4.
What?
Endless Wonder number 4. First one's 321.
Okay,
The
that
Rocket
makes
one with
sense.
H.G. Wells. The second one is Stand, and which is the season 3 finale.
What?
The
Come
next
on.
one is Emily
Really?
Lake, which is the penultimate in season 3.
Really?
Ah, poop. We were so close.
That's what
you
she
and
said.
your you. True.